You guys might be a little bit confused with who is on your screen right now, as this is obviously not itsJabo. No, this is in fact the Brickmaker. And you might be wondering why I'm stealing all of itsJabo's introduction. Well, that is for one simple reason. It is currently the 1 year anniversary of the Brickmaker channel, specifically the anniversary of my first upload. Now I wanted to celebrate by paying homage to the creators before me that inspired the channel and what you see today. The main channel that inspired all of this was Mitten Squad. And for any of you who have been within the Fallout Challenge community for a long time will know who Mitten Squad is. This channel originally began as a Witcher channel inspired by Neon Knight. But as I sat there making videos that just weren't up to the quality of other creators, I decided to look back at one of my most favourite franchises, Fallout. Mitten Squad then led me to channels like Nurbit and itsJabo. And with them I have been able to build my own small channel and begin interacting with all you wonderful people. I'm sure many of you can see the similarities between some of their videos and some of mine. But as my goldfish used to say, imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. And I decided for this challenge run, I would pick one of the biggest inspirations for this channel. Now since I wanted to do this challenge in Fallout 4, I decided to pick the creator that I associate the most with Fallout 4. And I'm sure you've guessed it already, itsJabo. I usually find myself watching an itsJabo video while I'm working or eating dinner. Now you can do challenges in many different ways. A normal character run involves a movie character or TV character, usually has a certain type of outfit, a certain type of weapon that you're restricted to using. I decided for this video it would be better suited if I just use some of the inspirations from itsJabo's channel and put them all into one. I decided to pick some of my favourite videos. The first one being, all enemies are legendary. Now that's something I've already done on this channel before, but the added difficulty comes from the weapon restrictions. I will only be using pipe weapons. So far so good, I'm restricted to a weak weapon and all my enemies are very powerful. However, the real challenge of this video comes in this last stipulation. itsJabo plays the majority of his challenges or his streams on survival. And that is something I have never fully done. I have never completed an entire playthrough on survival. And to be honest, by the end of this gameplay, I probably won't ever do it again. Unless you guys really want to see it, leave a comment down below. I'm sure I will give my opinions on the survival mode as you watch the video. There is also one other video that inspired this challenge. I'm sure many of you will be able to guess it throughout. If you notice it, leave a comment down below. And if by any chance itsJabo is watching this video right now, hey man, I hope you enjoy it. You're a big inspiration, you make great content, and I hope you enjoy the video. But without further ado, Jabo, take it away.
I don't even know who you are. It's showtime, folks.
We start this challenge off like any other. In the bathroom, hot and steamy. I get him as close as I can, but I'm not a master at the mechanics, and give him the obvious name of itsJabo. I give him what I believe to be balanced stats, and do the necessary introduction to every Fallout 4 video. We take out the first couple rad roaches with our security baton, and grab the Pip-Boy. I was able to find eyeglasses so the characters all came together now, and start setting up my most valuable piece of equipment in Sanctuary. I make sure that I rob all the things in the little bunker, and start making my way towards, oh god. We arrive at Drumlin Diner and face our first enemy, Wolfgang and Simone, who actually in other playthroughs I've also had problems with. but never problems this fast. And it's here that I realise that the hardest part of survival won't be playing the game or finishing the game, but being able to find enough time to finish this gameplay, as I lost a solid 5 minutes doing that. I arrive at Lexington and get my second perk, which is Cannibal. If you're watching Jabo, we know about it. It's something he doesn't like to talk about, but you know why I picked that perk. Be honest with the people, tell them the truth. I arrive at the Cambridge police station, and I definitely don't just let the Brotherhood take them all out for me. That'd be lazy of me. I'd be taking the easy route. I definitely did not just hide in the corner. And arrived just outside Diamond City to make sure I take a few pot shots at the super mutants. Arriving here, and to be honest, I didn't really know what to do. And like I said, I've never played survival before, so I spent the next 5 minutes clawing and clamoring to find a bed to sleep in. I always wondered why you could pay 10 caps to rent a room. What would be the point except for healing your health? Now I get it. I understand it. A lot of the mechanics in this game are starting to make sense while in survival mode. I try my luck at getting some perfectly preserved pie. Write in the comments down below if you think I get it. I don't get it. And decided that because this playthrough is going to be a lot more challenging than a normal playthrough, there's no time to follow the story appropriately, there's no time to talk to everyone. Let's just get over and start saving Nick. Arriving at Park Street Station, and this is the first time I'll be facing large groups of enemies. So far so good. I believe that this build was going to be a lot more sneak than anything. But being sneaky doesn't matter when about 3 bullets wipes out your health. And something I also just learned, when you're trying to heal yourself, yeah, it's acting as if there is no urgency amongst it. So this playthrough started to feel like it was going to be running from room to room and trying to find sleeping bags. Every time I got about 10 minutes in without sleeping, I started to get nervous. So nervous in fact that I started to eat ghouls. Not realizing that when you start eating ghouls and not humans with the perk, you can potentially get sick. But no time to worry about the ill effects of, well, eating ghouls. We've got to battle our way through Triggermen. Guys wearing casual suits. Shouldn't be difficult at all, should it? Now, if you've ever watched an itsJabo video, you'll know that he also reacts on livestream as he's playing. And that's something that I wanted to include in this video as well. So there might be random moments when I just stop talking and you'll just start hearing me playing it live. These are the honest to God reactions I had sometimes. I can't put them all in because I forgot that YouTube doesn't like swear words, so I've only got a select few when I remembered not to swear. So enjoy them when they come up. After being taken out by these 2 Triggermen about, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, again, 2 Triggermen, one's got a baseball bat, it was clear that I was going to have to get much more powerful pipe weapons as quick as possible. And luckily, if you've been paying attention to the video, I've been able to pick up a poisoner pipe pistol, a fire pipe pistol, and an assassin's pipe pistol which does 50% more damage to humans, which is helpful for Park Street Station. This part right here though took me an ungodly amount of time, mainly because there's just not enough cover. And when I ended up getting hit, I mean, I was instantly crippled with every single shot. Let's get ready for a nice little live section. Right, give me a minute. Let me get out a better weapon. Wow, he's just sponging every single shot. And he just wiped me out with a special attack. Okay, that's not 30 minutes I just lost. Thanks. Yeah, every time things like that happened, I usually lost about 20 to 30 minutes. Which to most people doesn't sound like a big deal, just replay it, keep trying. But, I mean, I work and have a family. So losing 30 minutes every time you get taken out by a Triggerman with a goddamn baseball bat who can one-shot you can slow down the production of these videos. I eventually figured out that slower is faster. Taking the time to pop in and out and to get these guys from behind cover will save you a lot more time in the long run. Now Dino's the only real named enemy down here before you get to Skinny Malone, so I thought he should be a little bit more difficult. And by more difficult, it just meant he was more of a bullet sponge. I didn't even know what I was doing at this point. I still thought he was somehow around the corner and lost another 30 minutes. And I got sent all the way back to outside the vault. Again, the slow and steady approach seemed to be working a lot better for me, and I was able to get back to Dino in no time. And no time is also the amount of time it took for him to put me into this strange position. I started to believe that playing a game like Elden Ring or Dark Souls would be an easier treat than trying to take out Dino with a pipe revolver while he's legendary, and I'm trying to make sure I don't scream obscenities throughout my entire house. But the slow and steady approach took well here, and luckily he didn't charge me like he had done in the previous attempts. With about 10 minutes of popping in and out and clipping his little ear, I finally get a terrible weapon off of him, but it's all made up for when I get this violent pipe bolt action pistol off this trigger man. Having a companion at this point is like having a cheat code, as they can draw the enemy fire, and they're pretty much a lot more powerful than most NPCs. However, that didn't stop me from begging to sleep in a bed, as I did not want to lose all this progress. With that, I allow Nick to more or less do all the heavy lifting as I pop in and out, and go to meet Skinny Malone. I tried to solve it peacefully because I had no desire of trying to take them on, and you can see by the time I've run off to the right, I've already lost most of my health. And here's another not too vulgar part of my live reaction to fighting Skinny and Darla. Right, got most of my health. Come on, Skinny. Come on, Darla. Let's get this on. Come on, come on. God. Jesus Christ! The hell did she come from? Where did she get such a quick 10 yard? My God. And she's... How was the dress? Sorry. How was that dress taking so much of this damage? Oh, for Christ's sake, do not tell me I'm going to get taken out here by Darla. Do not. Oh! I was getting sick and fed up with this. Truly, this is the reason I never play survival. Again, if I was just right behind that door every time you come out to speak to Skinny and I just spawned back in, no problem. Absolutely no problem. But it truly is, it's the frustration part of being downstairs, spawning in that bed, running back up. And speaking of time killers, if I wanted to upgrade my weapons, I've got to run all the way back to Sanctuary. However, on the way... Oh God. I get back to Sanctuary and I'm able to upgrade all of my pipe weapons and pick up all the water I've been farming. I have another attempt at the Porta Diner and unfortunately do not get the pie. Ellie comes out and says, "Poggers! You were able to save Nick," and I am very grateful. And we're so grateful that we're going to go break into Kellogg's house. But unfortunately I got to go sweet talk old Geneva or Mayor McDonough. I didn't put much points into charisma at all, so unfortunately I've got to bribe her in the end, but to be honest, up until this point I've been able to keep quite a heavy flow of caps. Having about 40 purified water every time I go back to Sanctuary, plus all the weapons I'm picking up and legendary weapons I'm picking up, I'm able to keep a quite healthy stream of weapons coming in, and caps. I break into Kellogg's house and steal all of his cigars, and head straight over to the Colonial Tap House, as completing Diamond City Blues is a staple of the itsJabo challenge. Pretty much every video you watch of him doing on Fallout 4, he completes this quest to get all of the different chems. And I'm no different. I watch Paul get his ass beat, but when I go to speak to him outside, for some reason he refuses to talk to me. Maybe I just have to wait a little bit of time, maybe survival's different. So without my chems, which I did want for the Kellogg fight, I'm going to go fight Kellogg anyway. I'm not going to do the traditional way, I'm just going to run straight there, and unfortunately on the way there, I'm greeted by mole rats. I really didn't think I'd get taken out by a group of mole rats. But I am clearly not very good at this game. I have another attempt. And you'll never guess it, I get taken out again by the pack of mole rats. So this time I decided just to avoid them. I take the nice little shortcut around, so I get to this side of the tunnel instead of having to go through it. And we run straight towards the sleeping bag, because I ain't taking no risks. When I come back out, the stunted Yao guy that hangs outside of Vault 81 has been battling some super mutants, so he's got most of his health taken out. He also decides to, I don't know, stand still, intimidate me with stillness, but I just take the time to get as many shots as I can in. Unfortunately, by the time he starts moving, I've already got most of his health gone. And you'll never believe what I got. Nothing. I move through and start fighting the feral ghouls on the bridge, and luckily feral ghouls are still pretty flimsy just like they are in a normal game, so VATS is coming in handy. I pick up a never-ending pipe pistol which will be extremely useful for spongy enemies, just like Kellogg, and start making my way towards Fort Hagen. Now at this point I've been trying to avoid every unnecessary battle possible. However, I didn't know just how aggressive ragstags are. And yeah, on survival they can pretty much just two-shot you. I mean, look at my health, it's about 70% and I just got horned to death. Again, second attempt and I avoid all of that nonsense. Arriving at Fort Hagen and I just felt like luck was certainly not on my side. As even the Sims fight me, and you know who my biggest enemy is, it's dog meat. Thankfully there is a bed just outside of this part, so not too much time is wasted. The Sims are actually pretty flimsy to take out, but I'm starting to really feel the effects of the legendary enemy mod. Every time I take a Synth out, his health pings right back up to full and I'm pretty much dead in the water. I can tell you this now because as the playthrough gets on I do get stronger, better armor, better weapons. But here is probably where I failed the most. I counted, I went through the gameplay. I think I got taken out here 27 times. I've never had to lead the Sims out of Fort Hagen and start running backwards to lure them into a trap. I've never had to set the Protectron off and get him to fight the Sims. Like, unironically, I usually do it because it's a bit of fun, but this time I was like, God, this Protectron's going to do a lot of help here. I've never had to sneak around and take out machine turrets and use a sleeping bag up here. These are all firsts. Did you know that you can kind of sneak your way through the Synth leader and the little turret on the other side by fighting him through all the gaps in the wall? I didn't, but I bloody well had to. Because every time I tried to fight them face on, dog meat would go down and the Synth leader charges you. Not to mention all the other random Sims just littered around this place as well. I left a few of these deaths in because it just started to feel like I was going mad. And this Synth leader decides to steal my Cheetos. Like I said, I had to resort to fighting through a hole in the wall. And hey, it worked out better. I will definitely say by the end of this gameplay I was definitely better at the game than I was before. I have no doubt in my mind of that. Normal difficulty is going to feel like a piece of cake after this. With another legendary pipe weapon added to my arsenal, I'm finally able to make a little bit more progress through Fort Hagen. This would be a good time to remind all of you to like the video. Drop a subscription as well. You have no idea how much it helps. And my God, I really do feel like I deserve it. And if you could, send this video to Jabo. But all those unnecessary plugs out the way, we're starting to get near the end of Fort Hagen. And I'm starting to really appreciate Dog Meat's ability of grabbing enemies in place. I eventually reach Kellogg. I load myself up with every different chem that I've been able to pick up on my way. My first attempt goes, well, pretty terribly. The jet for some reason glitches my screen out and I am unable to use any of the different menus. And by the time it's turned off, it just didn't feel right this run, you know, with all the glitches at the beginning. I was just kind of waiting to be taken out. I'm sure you guys can sympathize. And luckily there's a bed just before this point, so I didn't feel too bad, you know, trying different things. Oh, no, fine. For Christ's sake, dog meat! Kellogg is... every other challenge run I always joke about how much, like how easy taking Kellogg is. Like how much of a boss he isn't. I get it now. I get it. When you're playing this on survival, no, he is a truly tricky boss. And that never-ending pipe pistol was coming in absolutely clutch. Absolutely puggers! He says that a lot. And because I don't have to reload, I'm finally able to take him out with a combination of Jet and Psycho. With the Sims the only ones left, I was taking absolutely no risk and made sure to pop as many chems as I could to make sure I didn't have to restart. And welcome back live Brickmaker for the next section. Oh! Oh! Ah! Ah! What's that? Who are they? It's the Arriving back at Diamond City, I take another attempt at that perfectly preserved pie and run back into Paul Pembroke, who for some reason is totally glitched out. I can only assume maybe the legendary effect scrambled his AI or something, but we've got no time to worry about that as we gotta go speak to Valentine and Piper. But even before that, we've got one more person to go talk to, and that's Paladin Dance. I'm able to attempt another perfectly preserved pie. Nope. God damn it. And start completing the quest for the Brotherhood of Steel. When thinking about a faction to pick for itsJabo, what is the most likely one? I don't know, the Brotherhood of Steel just felt the most fitting. If you're watching now, Jabo, leave a comment down below. Tell me what faction you would side with in real life. But just based on all the videos you make and stuff like that, I don't know, this just felt the most fitting. So, I took Paladin Dance, allowed him to be a big meat shield where I was able to pick up more pipe weapons, and got the deep range transmitter. This gave me access to something I didn't even consider before picking the Brotherhood. The Brotherhood of Steel give you access to vertebrate signal grenades. And I never really thought, why would you ever use them? It's just fast travel. But as Dogmeat does his little trick, this isn't Wisconsin anymore, Toto, and we can't fast travel. So getting access to the vertebrate signal grenades as fast as possible is now my main priority. And that means we gotta go take out all the bad boys at Fort Strong. And yes, I did just sleep before this. Boarding the vertebrate properly this time, we can start making our way over to Fort Strong. And something that I didn't know is that you actually cannot land until you take out the behemoth, so I unfortunately am unable to use pipe weapons for this one point. I apologise to everyone. And I did try to wait a few times to see if I could just land without it. But something else I didn't know is that the super mutants can take out the vertebrate as it's flying around. So I had to fly in, take out the behemoth, and slowly make my way through all the different super mutants. Paladin Dan's doing his best as well, but we do eventually break through. Arriving in, and I take a similar approach that I did with the Sims, run into the building and then lead them back out, and it bears great fruit, as legendary Paladin Dance is an absolute tank. And at this point in the challenge run, I felt like I needed his big strong arms wrapped around me. So I tell him not to be sorry, shush him on his beautiful lips, and let Elder Maxon know about the great job we did. I also just had a huge brain fart at this point, as there was a couple days in between these recordings, and I just assumed I had already gotten the Corsair chip. I don't know why. I arrived all the way to the railroad, spoke to them, assumed I would be let in, give Desdemona the nonsense, and when I went in to go speak to Tinker Tom, I was met with a brick wall. Well, I certainly wasn't going to do the quest for the railroad, so I checked the quest log and figured out I was supposed to go to Good Neighbour. In Good Neighbour, we got to do the good old fun quest of running through Kellogg's brain, and after what he put us through, I decided to not wipe my feet when I got here, and set off for the Glowing Sea. I headed up to Sanctuary before I headed towards the Glowing Sea to stock up on more water, and ran into a behemoth for my troubles, which is always a lot of fun. Luckily there was a building in the way, so I was able to get around it. I found a random sleeping bag on the way to get a little bit saved. Definitely won't be important later. And I eventually arrived in the glowing sea. I considered attacking the Deathclaw outside of Virgil's cave, and quickly realized that this was a very, very silly endeavour. So I decided just to make a run for it instead. I get in and speak to Virgil and discuss about my son and get the quest to go over to Green Tech. It's here where I head out and throw down a vertebra grenade, not realizing that would activate the Deathclaw. And well, I'll let Brickmaker tell you better. Right, come on Vertibird, anytime now. No, go get Dance, go get Dance. You kidding? One hit? Where did I last save? Where did I last save? You are taking the piss? This time I decided just to sprint straight at the glowing sea. I was not waiting around to talk to anyone. I even tried to stop off in the crater of Atom to see if there was a bed available, but they're all just owned, so it's very, very frustrating. Well, with all of that done, I decided just to make a sprint right back towards the cave and get taken out by a stingwing. And yes, I spawned all the way back where you thought I did. But I'm not showing you me doing that again. I speak to Virgil, let him know I took out Kellogg. And this time, the second I leave the cave, I run straight up the mountain because I can't do it again, guys. Can't. I've got an hour of footage of me just running through the glowing sea. I thought the radiation was going to be the hardest part. No, it's a stupid Deathclaw that sits outside Virgil's cave. Luckily the pathing's easy to manipulate and I'm able to finally reach the Vertibird and get my sweet cheeks out of here. No time to waste, except for the 30 minutes I went and bought ammo and healed and stuff, but let's not worry about that. When you're faced with the difficulty of the game and survival, you start to notice the patterns. And a lot of these boss fights have the same system. And luckily, I picked up a 2-shot pipe pistol just for it. The quest to save Nick, fight Kellogg, fight the Courser, they're the exact same. You enter a place, it's swarming with an enemy, you gotta fight your way through that enemy, and you're probably going to be able to get through it pretty easily, unless you're on survival. If you're on survival, you're begging to God you find an even better weapon than a 2-shot pipe pistol. And what is a better weapon than 2-shot? What's a better effect on a weapon than 2-shot? I'll tell you. Wounding. The game changed, everyone. The game's gone. These guys are going to get cooked. I was so excited I found that I ran straight out and made sure I saved, because I'm not losing that weapon. For anyone who's played any sort of Fallout 4 extensively, you'll know that the wounding effect is by far the strongest. The bleed damage stacks, so you just got to get about 10 shots in and you take out any enemy. However, that doesn't mean we shouldn't be careful. And when I'm about to fight this Courser, I decided, similar to the Kellogg fight, I'm going to load myself up with every single chem under the sun. There's no time like the present, and with the jet activated, I start loading in my wounding rounds into the Courser. And you can see that health start to drain as quick as possible. I am, however, unfortunate to pick up the Courser chip from a disintegrated body, meaning it's probably a good time to say bye bye to Dance. And nothing to see here, nothing to see here.
Boys! Oh! No!
I immediately head back to Sanctuary to start upgrading the pipe pistol because the wounding effect, I've now got the gun that's taking me straight to the end. And finally, head to the railroad at the appropriate time. I was a little bit worried because I'd already spoke to them, I had to complete Deacon's quest, but luckily now that I have the Courser chip, I can just head straight in. After watching Tinker Tom do his Tinker Bond, Poggers, I can start making my way back to the glowing sea, and this time it's a much easier trip. Flying by Vertibird is kitschy. I think that was an Australian thing I just said. He's not Australian. More JABO references. More JABO references. Poggers! With my winding pipe pistol, I am feeling much more confident taking out this Deathclaw who wasted so much of my goddamn day. Thank you, Deathclaw. And with him taken out, I also decide I feel confident to run over to the Sentinel site, mainly because this will help me a little bit later do this faster. Once I head back to the Brothers of Steel, I let Elder Maxim know that I've been infiltrating all the Institute secrets. And with that, I can speak to Ingram and start building the teleporter. Now, I've been dragging all my resources from Sanctuary and anything that I had found to the Boston airport, and luckily I was able to build the teleporter without too much running back and forth. The teleporter goes, and I arrive in the Institute, ready for a fight. Well, that's not true. I need to speak to Father Son, and I decide to do the Brotherhood of Steel quest properly. I quickly meet with all the different leaders, and I am unfortunately not able to charisma my way through the Dr. Lee check. So I had to head in here and take out all the different robots. And I just want to let everyone know at this point, I hadn't saved since the Boston airport. So, you know, it's not a difficult time, but it's a lot of time. Again, like I said, this is the biggest issue I've been having with survival, is the time it's taking. But the Winding Pipe Pistol does not make it a problem, and I'm able to get Virgil's holotape. With that, I'm able to speak to Dr. Lee's hand, and send her back off to the Brotherhood of Steel. I'm able to catch up with Prime, and buy a high power magnet from Diamond City. It was you. You did it. You ruined it. I head back to the edge of the glowing sea. I hadn't got any markers around this area. I'd avoided them all. And with that, I can just drop right into the Sentinel site. And similar to dropping in, I'm also able just to jump straight off of the top railing with my power armor. I don't get to do many playthroughs with power armor. This one's nice. The only real threat in here is Atom's Wrath, another Assaultron. And like I said before, last time I slept was at the Boston airport, so I really don't want to have to go back. With him taken out, I'm able to plant the signal pulsar and take out the glowing one with a little bit of ease and time taken very, very carefully. I go back, speak to Ingram, speak to Dr. Lee, and Liberty Prime is he's getting his mojo back, he's trying. And I get questioned for espionage. Again, Jabo, release the information. We know all about the espionage, we know all about the reports and the files that you send off to you know who. And because I know too much, I got taken out by assassins at Listening Post Bravo. Has anyone ever been taken out by those two turrets except me? I think it might just be me. Well, technically Jabo. Jabo, this is all technically you, so I take no responsibility for the failures. With Dan's gone, I immediately take his power armor and get the quest to be sent straight to the railroad. I mean, I take absolutely all the pride in doing this. Again, the railroad is a universally hated faction. But actually, thinking back to some of the videos I watched on Jabo's channel, I don't think he despises them. I think I might be thinking of Nurbit. Which one of them despises the railroad the most? I can't remember. It's one of them. Sometimes all those videos just start blending together. Jabo, he's the one that made the Abraham Lincoln video, right? And actually, speaking of Nurbit, if you guys would like to see me try and do this in Fallout New Vegas as Nurbit, leave a comment down below. That feels like his most appropriate game. With the railroad fully wiped out, I can start making my way over to Mass Fusion. And I choose this time not to use the minigun. Because who needs a minigun when you have a Winding Pipe Pistol? At this point, I've changed it over to 45 rounds because I just simply couldn't keep wasting time running and buying more ammo over and over again, and I still had nearly 1,000 from taking out all those triggermen. And with only about 200 rounds taken out, I arrive right into the Beryllium Agitator special room and make sure I take out all the turrets before they get activated. I know this part is supposed to be quite difficult, but with power armor and a bunch of Radex, I actually don't end up taking that much radiation damage. I think you can see by the time I leave, I've only taken maybe 10%. I usually leave here with only 10% health left. And one of my biggest worries was getting in here for this fight and my health was still regenerating from low, so I'm quite glad I brought the power armor and all that Radex. It was really helpful. Again, I hate to keep saying it, but I haven't saved since the Pridwin. So I had to do all of this in one shot. And let's just say I took every precaution possible. I made sure I had plenty of jet, plenty of cycle, plenty of medics, probably even threw a couple of mentats in there, just like Jabo would want. Because I remember watching one of his videos where he said, I don't see the point of not using chems, they're in the game for a reason. I take out the final Assaultron with relative ease, and make an absolute beeline for outside of mass fusion because I am not waiting around to fight the rest of the Sims. I head back to Boston Airport, speak with Proctor Ingram, and insert my big hard rod into Liberty Prime's back, just like Jabo would have wanted. Aga do do do, shake my apple, do do do, aga do. Pretty sure I was starting to lose my mind at that point. Or more so just overly excited that we were nearing the end. As every walk and every step, every breath that I take felt very, very uncomfortable. As I haven't slept since the airport, which I might as well put on a t-shirt at this point. Hi, I'm Brickmaker and I haven't slept since the airport. I take out all those frustrations on this gorilla while his back was turned. Because what am I gonna do? Face him face on? I ain't got that kind of swag. I ain't poggers like that. I don't ever look people in the eyes when I fight them. Except for Dad. Dad, I looked straight in the face as I blew him out of his own bed. I'm reaching the reactor now. And I'm reaching the end of this video. And honestly, this fight is very easy due to the amount of support you've got. I put the fusion pulse charge on the reactor. Speak to Elder Maxon. And decide to instant transmission myself straight back to the beginning. I arrive here and just like Jabo would, I would not shun my illegitimate child. Again, Jabo, you know what I'm talking about. And flip the switch, ending the game, answering the question that yes, you can indeed beat Fallout 4 Survival as itsJabo, the YouTuber, the Twitch streamer, the inspiration, the apple of my eye. Wait, that's not right. But in all seriousness, no. Thank you, Jabo. It's been a pleasure making this video, and I hope everyone enjoyed. But for any eagle-eyed viewer of this video and any fan of itsJabo, you know there's one last quest that we've got to do. We have to head back to Concord and to the Museum of Freedom to tackle the most difficult enemy in the game. No, I don't mean these level 1 raiders where the wounding effect has nothing on them because they're already taken up by the time I've hit them. Not Preston or Sturgis. It's what Sturgis says. There's something fancy on the roof. There's some fancy weapon on the roof that we're not going to use. But before I get to them, I have to do the very easy task of wiping out all these different raiders with names and take out this Deathclaw. And I'm going to do all of it without the main enemy of this game. I'm going to use it with my Brotherhood of Steel power armor and my wounding pipe pistol. I'm going to save Preston from the scourge of this game, the treachery. Ah! You nearly broke the game! You nearly ruined it! You nearly destroyed all of it! Power armor at level 2, a minigun? Are you kidding? You don't need any of it. I've proven you don't need any of it to beat this game. Don't worry, Jabo. It can't hurt you anymore. With celebrations truly in order, I believe it's time that we can start exploring a little bit more of Concord, since we pretty much avoided it for the whole playthrough. Yeah, no. Whoa. Wait. This isn't Fallout 4. Where am I? Oh, hi, Snuffles. Oh, it would be rude not to. Now it feels complete. There is the true ending to Fallout 4. It's defeating the quest that broke the game. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please think about leaving a like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. And if Jabo, like I said, if you've somehow got this far into the video, thank you so much for the inspiration. Thank you so much for what you meant to this channel. And I also want to take this moment to thank you Norbit, thank you Mitten Squad, thank you all the people who have helped this channel grow. I can't believe it's already been 1 year of uploading videos. I mean, it will say only like 11 months if you look back at my oldest one, but you will never ever see those first couple Witcher videos, no matter what. I know, maybe if we ever hit 100,000 I'll try and find them again. Truly awful stuff. I think if I'm ever going to do another video like this, I'm not sure if I'd wait another year to do it. If you guys really like videos like this, I might start a Norbit Fallout New Vegas one as quick as possible, just because I did have a lot of fun playing this. It was a challenge. A lot of the Fallout challenges aren't challenges, they are character builds and just watching me play through the game as them. But other than that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.